When it comes to this problem, it's so fascinating. We all want great friends, but do we all focus just as much on, are we a great friend? Are we the issue, or is everyone else the issue? Because I know a lot of people that feel like no one wants to be the friend, like they're always the one making the effort. They feel like they're always the one in the right and the friends are always the one in the wrong. I know people like that. Hi, today's video is about friendship. Thanks for watching. Just want to say my videos are sort of a casual, relaxing chat. So if you've not got the patience for a long, slow style video, link in the description, and I post the best bits, which are clips on TikTok and whatever. So check them out if this style isn't what you want. But yeah, enjoy the video. This is Ben. I think I might have quietly ruined my friendships by always being the one who leaves first. Not physically leaving, but emotionally, whenever I start feeling like I'm not as important to someone as they are to me. I pull back. I stop messaging first. I stop making plans. I become polite but distant. At first, I told myself it was self-respect. Why chase people who aren't showing the same effort? But lately, I've started wondering if I've misread things more than I realise. A few friendships faded this way. No big fights, just less contact until it disappeared completely. At the time, I convinced myself they didn't value me enough to keep trying. But recently, I ran into an old friend who seemed genuinely surprised that we drifted apart. That conversation has been sitting in my head ever since. What if they thought I was the one who stopped caring? I always believed I was protecting myself from rejection. Now I'm starting to worry I might have been creating the distance I was afraid of. My question is, how do you know when you're setting healthy boundaries versus quietly pushing people away? See, friendships fascinate me because a friendship is so important in your life. Friendships are vital to get and to cope with life, to get along with life and to cope with life. They're so important and we need them. We need people that are going to help us through this, and they get so complicated. And I'll be honest, a little bit of me worries if I'm a good friend. If I can be a better friend, I always think I can be a better friend. There's always things I can do. So a little bit of my interest in this is that I might be a bad friend. And this might happen to me if you don't be careful, you don't keep in check your behaviours. When it comes to this problem, it's so fascinating because we all want great friends, but do we all focus just as much on, are we a great friend? Are we the issue, or is everyone else the issue? Because I know a lot of people that feel like no one wants to be the friend, like they're always the one making the effort. They feel like they're always the one in the right and the friends are always the one in the wrong. I know people like that. And I also can see it from an outer perspective that that's not what it is. That a friendship is two people putting effort in. But sometimes it does take one person to initiate it more, especially when you're the one who has the problem. And it's not nice to hear because everyone wants to be wanted. That's the issue when it comes to friendships. That's the insecurity that's in place in friendships. You don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you. I mean, that's in any relationship. You don't want to know anyone who doesn't want to know you, who doesn't enjoy being in your presence, who doesn't care for you. But sometimes one person has to be the one who initiates things more especially if you depend on it and you want it more. So for instance, if you want a friendship, if you value friendship and that's a coping mechanism for you in life, that's a foundation for you to have people around you that are important to you. You've got to be the one to initiate things more than the other person. Me, for example, don't get me wrong, I love my friends. Life would not be the same without my friends. But they're not a coping mechanism for me. They're a pleasure, in a sense, or an interest. They're a care for me. I'm more interested in helping my friends than my friends help me. That's me with anyone, with any relationship. So my coping mechanisms aren't necessarily dependent on friends. Don't get me wrong, my friends fucking help me massively. My relationships help me massively. It's just they're not my priority. They're not my first instinct to go along and prioritize for me to cope. But it seems and it sounds like you are that sort of person who loves a best friend, who needs a best friend. And that's okay to say that you need someone, that you need something to help you in life. That's fine. I think a lot of people don't want to admit that they need something to help them. Sure, you might not need them to survive, but you might need them to thrive a bit. You might need that situation to get the best out of you, to get the best life that you want to live. And if you're the one who's got an issue here, you've got to be the one to initiate it, to say it. And at the end of the day, the title of friend means fuck all. It's the actions of a friend. And on your side of this coin, you need to be the one to express what the fuck you're feeling. In any relationship, it comes to expressing what you're truly feeling, because no one can guess what's going on inside your head. We can presume and we can try and guess, but we can't do it accurately enough where it's a success all the time. Clearly, this friend that you're talking about has no fucking clue what's going on in your head. And you seem like the person that isn't saying what you need to say. You need to get off the chest. You've got an insecurity of being open and honest and losing the friendship. But at the end of the day, it sounds like you're losing them anyway. And it's a simple solution of just getting off your chest what's off your chest. And doing it in a way, this is the hard part, you're doing it in a way that doesn't insult someone, that doesn't blame someone else. When it comes to getting things off your chest and saying the truth, we've got to say it in a way where it doesn't insult the other person, where you show care and you show the purpose of why you're saying something like this, which for you is, listen, I worry that I'm going to lose you. You're such a great person in my life that I don't want to lose you. I want you to be here. And these are the reasons why I'm feeling like you don't want to be here. Am I right or am I wrong? We all have this disconnect sometimes with reality. I know I fucking do. I have it so much. You have a disconnect with society where you think something else is happening that isn't truly happening. You think your friends don't care about you when they truly do, but you're looking at the action of, well, they've not asked and checked up on me, which means they mustn't care. No, maybe you're giving off the signal that you don't want help, that you don't want care, that you are doing fine. And the reason I can say that is because I was that fucking person. I was the person that would show everyone that I didn't need help. I felt like I didn't need help, but deep down and truly, I absolutely needed help. And not help as in, you come over here and do this for me. It's help as in, just be there and let me get the stuff off my chest that I'm suffering with, that I've got pressure and the weight on my shoulders is getting too much. So let me just bicker. Let me just hate, in a sense. Let me just be vulnerable and say the shit I'm dealing with in life. But I wasn't that person. I am now, but I wasn't that person because I didn't want to seem like I was weak. I didn't want to bother someone else with a problem. They're going through enough. And it's bullshit because we're all going through something. We've all got something going on in our head that we're struggling with, that we're trying to figure out, that we're trying to cope with. And to sit there and hold your cards back does nothing for the other person. If you can say it in a way where it shows the other person, listen, whatever you've got going on in your head, you're not alone. I might seem like I'm doing perfect, but I'm not. I'm trying to cope with life. I'm trying to get on with it. Why don't we just sit down and listen to each other? You know, the title, a friend, a lot of us use that as a given. But what happens, or what should happen, is the behavior comes first of a friendship rather than the title. I hear people say all the time, you're my best friend. You can't do that. You can't. Or my friends aren't checking up on me. You're meant to be my friend, check up on me. But you don't recognize what you're giving off. You don't recognize the reaction. And a lot of us don't have true friendships because we can't be honest with each other. Because of our insecurities, which we all fucking have, none of us can get away from that. Our insecurities make us react in insecure ways. We get offended. We hide. We don't want to appear a certain way. Like I said, weak. We don't want to appear like something's going wrong, that we're not doing the right thing, that things aren't going smoothly. We don't want to appear that I need you or I'm better off with you in my life. A lot of people want to be friends with each other, but they won't admit that to each other. They won't say, listen, I'm better off with you, because they don't want to feel dependent. That word need, we don't want to feel dependent. It makes us feel weak, makes us feel vulnerable. But if that's who we are, just take down that wall, take down that block, and accept you love a fucking friendship. You love connecting with people. Spin it. It's not a negative. It's not a negative that you enjoy other people's presence, that you enjoy listening to other people's problems, sharing your problems. That's the life that you want to live. That's the life you want to live. A lot of us are living lives that we don't want because of the behaviors that are going on. A lot of us need to act the way we want our lives to go. You don't want to be suffering. You don't want to be depressed. You don't want to be struggling so much and wondering, how the fuck do I cope with life? And having this shame on yourself. All these emotions that we're just talking about, they're emotions on how other people perceive us. And other people can affect how we perceive ourselves. And a good friendship, it's about that person showing us who we truly are, good and bad. And a lot of us can't have honest conversations with people because we get offended. I get offended. I get so offended myself. And it's about controlling that. It's about recognizing and apologizing and maybe having a first conversation and then coming back to it and saying, listen, you were right. I got offended. I felt insecure. That's why I reacted the way I did. That's why I'm distant. You said something that offended me, but it's not on you. It's on me because I got offended. But a lot of us want great friends, but aren't prepared to be a great friend. I think that's why I can't complain about my friends, because in my mind, I'm not necessarily a great friend. I don't check up on people. You know, for me, I've got a lot going on in my life. I've got a lot going on in my own head that I forget. I feel like I've not got time. I get lost in life. Just keep going and head down, keep going. You forget to look around at your friends who might be going through something. So I can't sit here and ever complain that my friends don't give me attention, my friends don't give me care, my friends aren't great friends, because I know deep down in my own self that I'm not doing the same. And that's okay. That's okay for me. My friends can be however they want to be, because I'm however I want to be. And I'm not saying I'm a good friend. And sometimes we've got to realize that other people have shit going on in their lives that you're not their first thought. You're not their first priority. I know you want them to be, because you're not feeling seen, but you're not standing up and showing yourself. That's why you don't feel seen. No one knows what's going on inside your head because you don't show it. I'm speaking, like I said, from experience. And a lot of us in life, we judge other people and we're not doing the actions. We want this friend that checks up on us all the time. How many times have you checked up on everyone else? How many times have you just asked how they're doing? Whatever you want, maybe give it a go on someone else and see if they're willing, that they'll do it back to you. Maybe you'll realize, like I said, with these honest conversations, what the reality is. Because this isn't just an issue with this one friend. You've said you've lost multiple friendships. So it's a behavior on you, unfortunately. Now, it's not all on you, don't get me wrong. Not everyone knows how to be a perfect friend. I think we forget that. We all act as if there's this manual for life on the perfect way to be. And we've all got to be that perfect way. We can't make any mistakes. We've got to be a perfect friend that checks up on people. But we're fucking human and we make mistakes. We act correctly and we act incorrectly. Give each other a little bit of leeway. Let each other breathe a bit. And as the other friend, accept a little bit of criticism. And it's a perfect world, don't get me wrong, to have such a level head. I don't have this much of a level head in the situation, but sometimes after it, I can step back and I can think I should have done better there. I should have took that criticism better. Maybe they're right. Let's just explore the idea that maybe the criticism is right and work from there. But with this situation, I think you get obsessed in your own mind with your own reality that you're alone. And you probably feel alone. I have felt alone. I used to always feel alone. I used to always think I was the only one in my life that cared about me. And my issue was, I was the only one who let myself care for me. I didn't let anyone care for me because I wouldn't tell anyone any problems. I wouldn't say to anyone what's going on and give them the opportunity to care for me. If you don't give someone the opportunity to care, how the fuck are they going to care? To have a bit of sympathy. And I wonder what life would look like if we had more of these honest conversations. The only issue is we get emotional. As humans, we get so emotional and we take things personally. A lot of things in life aren't personal. And if we just remove that little bit of emotion, or even after the emotion, we sit back and we review what the fuck's just gone on. Can we get a level head at some point? Because in the moment, emotions fly, instincts kick in. And you don't have to be this perfect person. But in this situation for friendships, you've got to be a good friend first. It's like most things in life. If you give, you get. But if you give with the intention to get, most of the time you don't get. You've got to want to be a good friend first, just off your own back. And what is holding you back from doing that? What are your own insecurities that are holding you back? That you go, yeah, but no one's caring for me, so I'm not going to care for someone else. That's not the right mindset. Figure that out. Delve into that. And look at the time frame you're working on. Don't think you're going to figure it out next week. It took me my whole life to figure out my problem. To figure out why I was keeping all the pain in. So give yourself a bit of time and have a little bit of patience with yourself. And care for yourself a bit. Let yourself off a little bit more. And say, listen, you're fucking trying. I think that's a lot of the times why we don't want these honest conversations. Because we have to then admit that we don't know what's right. We can sit and talk behind everyone's back and talk in our own head about what other people should do. But you don't even know what you need to do for yourself. Most of us. Most of us get on this high horse, like I am now, and you talk about what you need to do and what you should do when you haven't figured things out yourself. Now you can do this. You can do what I'm doing because it's a conversation. You're exploring thoughts, but do not assume that you're right. If you assume that you're right, you've blocked yourself off from figuring it out. You've ticked that box off and you said, yeah, I'm right. No one else cares for me. That's why I'm not caring for everyone else. And I have no friends. My friends don't care for me. But it's looking at the situation of you. What can you do? What's that thing in the back of your head that you don't want to say? The thing you're insecure about. What don't you want to say? And delve into that. Delve into that idea of why am I keeping this in? Why am I afraid to say whatever I'm afraid to say? Why am I afraid to feel whatever particular way I'm afraid to feel? Because also when it comes to friendships, they can't do everything for you in life. Now, I don't think that's this situation, but for anyone who's depending on someone, who needs someone to survive, not needs someone for their life to improve a little bit, you've got to look at yourself and say, what do I need to work on? But yeah, good luck with that, man. Peace.